And welcome to the Freedom Club podcast. I'm your host, Kurt Mercadante. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And to kick off this week, I want to talk a little bit about self-awareness.
Welcome to the Freedom Club podcast, where we discover the fight for freedom, fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Your host is Kurt Mercadante, Gallup certified strengths coach, an agency founder who is dedicated to coaching individuals seeking to level up their life and their businesses. The Freedom Club is about unlocking your talents, turning them into strengths, and crushing your objectives. You can learn more at kurtmercadante.com. Welcome to the Freedom Club.
You know, self-awareness takes up a big portion of all of my coaching courses, but invariably, just about like every week, I get potential clients who come to me and say, yeah, I want to do your coaching course, but can we just skip the self-awareness portion? You know, they come to me and they say, well, I'm already very self-aware. I just want to skip to the end. And usually, like 99% of the time, they're wrong. They're not very self-aware at all. You see, all of my courses begin with Gallup's Clifton Strengths Assessment. You may know it better as StrengthsFinder. And I have a course it's called Unleash Your Superpowers. That's dedicated entirely to unleashing your strengths. But some folks claim they don't need it. They want to skip ahead. They want to skip the touchy-feely stuff. And you know, one of those clients who had come to me originally and said, let's just skip to the end. I'm very self-aware. At the end of our first session, he actually said, wow, I guess I'm not as self-aware as I thought. He actually said he was tired. It felt like a workout for his mind. And I can totally understand, you know, there's a maze of assessments out there, psychological, behavioral assessments. And a lot of people, some clients who come to me, they've taken every single one. But a lot of them took the assessment, they read the results, and never went further because that's a shame. No matter what assessment you take, it's helpful to have someone who can help you understand it, and more importantly, put it into useful action to help you better align your work, your family, and yourself. Someone who can guide you through the process, put it in context for you. And as a Gallup certified strengths coach, that's exactly what I do with my clients in relation to the StrengthsFinder or Clifton Strengths Assessment. But just taking the assessment and getting your results, it's only the beginning of a journey I like to call unleashing your superpowers. So what is StrengthsFinder if you're not familiar with it? You know, the strengths-based psychology movement, it was started decades ago thanks to the work of its father, Donald Clifton. And Clifton decided to run counter to what's called the deficit-based development model that was and still is popular. You know, that according to that model, we're going to focus on trying to fix your weaknesses. Let's look at everything that's wrong with you and try to fix it. But instead, Clifton asked the simple question, what will happen when we think about what's right with people rather than fixating on what's wrong with them? And so Clifton and Gallup built up the movement, the foundation of which is each individual's talent themes. And talents are those naturally occurring patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior that can be productively applied. And when you invest in them, when you start using them intentionally every day and you exercise them like you would work out a muscle at the gym, you turn those talents into strengths. I prefer calling them superpowers because I'm a superpowers nerd. And you know why if you regularly listen to this podcast. So in short, think of this equation. Talent times investment in those talents equals superpowers, equals strengths. And a lot of people confuse, you know, the saying playing to your skills with playing to your strengths, okay? For example, a few weeks ago, someone commented in one of my posts on LinkedIn saying, what if your strength is sales, but your weakness is making good eye contact? Well, the way that I and most Gallup coaches would define strength, sales isn't a strength, it's actually an activity. Making eye contact is a skill used for certain types of sales. There's people with far different strengths who are all good at the activity of sales. The key is to know how to use your strengths to get there. You know, another skill might be something like writing well. But you can have two best-selling authors who both have the skill of writing who use far different strengths to accomplish the activity of writing books. So what are some examples of talents and strengths? Well, here are my top 5 talent themes. Learner, context, activator, responsibility, intellection. You know, by reading 100 pages per day For example, I'm exercising my learner theme and turning it into my strength. With context, I find it very easy to look at past experiences to find solutions to current or future problems. I used to think I was lazy, and then I realized that to fully exercise my intellection talent, I need that 1 to 2 hours per day of quiet reflection time, after which I use my activator talent to immediately put into practice what I reflected on. Those are just small examples, but the bottom line is this. The key to reaching your full potential isn't trying to fix your weaknesses, it's in amplifying your strengths to be the best version of you. And when you use your strengths, you get into what's called the strength zone. It's in the strength zone that you find yourself in a state of flow, when you might lose track of time because certain activities are coming to you so easily. And after decades of research, Gallup finds that people who focus on using their strengths are 3 times as likely to report having an excellent quality of life. They're 6 times as likely to be engaged in their jobs. People who use to learn their strengths every day have almost 8% greater productivity. Teams who focus on giving their members strengths-based feedback, right, instead of focusing just on what's wrong with them, on their weaknesses, they have almost 9% greater profitability. And the best way to get into your strength zone is by first naming your talent themes, right? By taking the Clifton Strengths Assessment. Go to strengthsfinder.com. You can take it there. You can hop in any one of my courses. I will let you in, and we give you the assessment. You claim those talent themes as your own. You truly understand them, and then you aim them in the right direction. You invest in them to turn them into strengths. Use them intentionally for success in your life. And so when people come to me and say, can we just skip the self-awareness portion? I'm so self-aware. You know what? I immediately know they're really not that self-aware. In fact, people who come to me and admit they're not that self-aware, I usually find that they're more self-aware than the people who say they are self-aware. Think about that for a second. So, self-awareness is the key to any good coaching program, development program. And if you run into a coach who doesn't have a healthy dose of self-awareness, who says, yeah, that's okay, we can skip that part, you know they're full of shit. Run the other way. Listen, if you have any questions about any of my coaching programs, about StrengthsFinder, come to LinkedIn, send me a message. Come to Facebook, send me a message. Find me on Twitter, Kurt Mercadante. Look me up. Send me an email, cdm@kurtmercadante.com. Find me on my website, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have for me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of today, Monday, and a week filled with freedom and fulfillment. This has been the Freedom Club Podcast. Please tell your friends about us. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.